planet of Cthonia. As you see, it looks a little bit drab, but the good things come from there, or not, depending on your perspective. We're going to have a look at some of the characters that will be leading the forces on the loyalist and traitor side of the Siege of Cthonia. We'll start off with the son of Horus. This is Veren Ashuradan, who is the true son of Horus, which has been charged with protecting the homeworld of the sons of Horus, which has been effectively taken over by the loyalists. He's been sent to claim it back. Anything you want to tell us about this guy?
Yeah, so Cadre Captain Veren Ashuradan, one of the true sons of Cthonia. So this is a group within the Sons of Horus, which basically harken back to the old ways. They want to have that kind of gang mentality, the honor, that sort of thing, which they feel that a lot of the new legionnaires don't really have. So when it comes to the Siege of Terra and everything like that, Cthonia being just to the southwest of Terra, obviously has been retaken by the Imperials.
I want more Night Lord stuff, please.
There's not really a huge amount of benefit to taking Cthonia back. They're on the way to Terra. That's the goal. So he persuades Horus that this is more of a token gesture,
an honor
thing, symbolic thing. Yes, and so he's joined by many of the other true sons of Horus that sons of Cthonia that are they're basically torn between either fighting beside Horus in his final victory or sort of reclaiming their home.
So this is relatively contemporary to the Siege of Terra itself?
Yes.
Cool. So there we go. That's the leader of the Sons of Horus. Let's have a look at the leader that the Imperials have sent to defend this planet. There we go. It's a good model, isn't it? It's good. This is Evander Garius. He is a veteran of the Imperial Fists and looks like an absolute bruiser.
Yes,
tell us all about him, Alex.
So Lord Castellan Evander Garius is the protector of Cthonia, or tyrant of Cthonia, depending on your point of view. His job was not just to hold the world after it was first taken during the first siege of Cthonia, but he was also to spread the Imperial truth to the populace and try and get them on side. Bit of a thankless
task,
that going? As you can imagine, with the gangs. And basically after the first siege, a huge number of the Sons of Horus that were on the world, they didn't really put up that much of a fight. They escaped down into the tunnels, and so they've been plaguing him ever since.
Yeah. So he's not the most popular with Dawn, is he?
He's been a bit of a vainglorious leader. Takes some unnecessary risks, some unnecessary losses with in a legion that's so pragmatic. That's not favoured.
Yeah, and he's quite a veteran commander. I think is he Terran born? Is it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's the two leaders. We've got a little bit more to show you about what's coming up in the Siege of Cthonia book. We've announced this book previously, but we've got a bit more to show you. We've got some of the art from the new Siege of Cthonia book. Let's have a little look.
Yes, please.
There we go. So this is the commander of the Imperial Fist himself leading the charge. Some beautiful artwork, again, done by the great photography team and artwork team in our Warhammer studios.
Sorry, he's pointing.
There's some unusual characters that play some parts in the Siege of Cthonia as well. So on the next slide, we'll see, maybe not quite the team that you'd expect to be fighting together. You've got a traitor, well, a loyalist or traitor, from your perspective, Thousand Sun there inside the Imperial Fist. Anything we know about him, Alex?
Yes, so one of the things with Cthonia is being quite close to Terra. If there was, say, fallout, people running away from other battles, retreating tactically from other battles, they would often get trapped because they can't go through Horus's fleet to get to Terra. So Cthonia is sort of the next best thing. So you've got loads of Iron Hands, you've got Word Bearers, as you can see there, that have shown up. You've got some Alpha Legion that have shown up. But on the side of the Loyalists, there was a group of Thousand Sons that, after the fall of Prospero, escaped to Terra. And so when Garius has requested some more aid, Terra's gone, well, we can't really give you any more of our best troops. We do have these guys. We don't really trust them, so we're going to send some. It would
kind of be all right if they didn't come back. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So
Operation
you've got a group of Thousand
Sturdy
Sons.
Shields.
So
there you go.
They're fighting for the Emperor.
Everyone's loyal to someone, Alex. Cool. There's obviously an opportunity with these books to have some brand new heraldry and artwork in there. So one of the really cool things about the black books we had of old of the Horus Heresy is they were absolutely jam-packed with like different ways to do armies
too?
and theme your legion into a specific way of fighting. And there's some of those as well in this new book. There is a particularly interesting new style of heraldry, which is these guys. So what are these about?
Huh.
So these are the Inductii. And this is sort of an umbrella catch-all term for the legionaries that were raised after Istvan. So these come with some pros and cons. So the legions used a variety of methods to speed up the process. That might have been extreme hyper-indoctrination, which is what we saw with the World Eaters, using past memories in order to make their fighters better so they don't have to spend that time training, they just know. Or it might be implanting a lot of the organs really fast, and that can have some side effects where you might get some malformed legionaries, you might get some that don't necessarily fit their armor. It's the same deal with the armor as well, that it must have been hastily put together. So Vandegarius, very pragmatic as he is, raised about 5,000 of these from Cthonia. So these are the gangers of Cthonia raised as Imperial fists. They suffered the same issues that all of the Sons of Horus did, is that the gangers didn't really take to the psycho-indoctrination that well. And as you can imagine, with the issues of the Imperial fist gene seed, there was quite a high fallout rate.
So you're starting to see some quite interesting stuff there about like the induction process isn't quite perfect. We know that in Warhammer 40,000 some of the gene seeds and things are starting to fail.
Yes.
This might be a little hint at some of that to come. Might also be a hint about some of the different chapters and things that the legions will eventually break into, because you imagine that if they survive, those 5,000 warriors of Cthonia probably aren't going to go ahead and be the ones that join the Imperial Fist chapter at the end of it.
There's a bit of a social issue as well. So after the Horus Heresy, some of the Magos biologists, they discovered that there wasn't a huge amount of difference physiologically between them and a regular Space Marine. So the legions tended to treat them differently, and that might have been more of a cultural element. But that did bleed over into the Inductii. So you've got some Emperor's children that say weren't allowed to wear the Emperor's Palatine Aquila, which, seeing as they were rebelling against the Emperor, was probably suited them. Or you had some of the Space Wolves, and often their Inductii would be a lot more aggressive and impetuous, because it was almost like they were trying to prove themselves to their elders.
Yeah, so some interesting opportunities there if you wanted to kind of start to hint at where your legion might be heading in the 41st millennium as a chapter or a traitor legion. Yeah, fun, cool. All right, so some more things to tell you about what's going on with the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy is, at the moment, a very Space Marine versus Space Marine fight. But the Horus Heresy is also a war for all of mankind. So one of the things you should keep your eye out for in the next few months is some non-Space Marine stuff.
Adeptus Mechanicus, Imperial Guard.
Power armor. So, we do have a bit of a roadmap for you guys today, if you want to have a look at what's coming up in the next 12 months or so. So let's have a look, shall we? See what's going on. Right. So we can see that in spring of this year, we already know about some of these things. We've got the Vindicator Siege Tank is on its way, and the Vandegarius and Varen Assuredin. Some of you reading ahead, I see already. We have a Knight Lancer on its way in summer, and across the rest of the year, basically, we have loads of new characters and upgrades. Then in autumn, things start to get pretty juicy. We've got more Lords of War, as well as the Knight Lancer. We have a new type of Dreadnought. We have an Armor Mark update. We have a Primarch. Another Primarch. So we've obviously already gone through the 18, depending on how you're counting, Primarchs. And we've seen Horus Ascendant. So we know that the Primarchs aren't all quite as they were at the start of the Horus Heresy, at the end of the Horus Heresy. So this is going to be another version of a Primarch that maybe isn't what he was when the heresy began. So you've got that to look forward to. We have a mystery army release in winter. Who knows what that could be? Could be anything. I think one of the most requested things is an assault squad for Horus Heresy. There you go. And then early into next year, we have a Legion Command squad and melee weapon upgrades. So those will fit really nicely with the assault squad to give you even more options for your multi-part plastic Space Marines. So we've got some pictures for you of some of the stuff, just to give you a bit of a hint of what's coming. So we'll kick off with this one. I'm not going to talk too much about it. You can kind of pick it apart for a few seconds for yourself. There you go. Ooh, what's in there? Okay. Some new stuff. Okay, and then we've got one final picture for you guys. You can have a look at the assault squad.
That's nice. I'd like some different poses, though.
So we are well aware that the assault squad was the top of a lot of people's lists for the thing they wanted adding into the Horus Heresy. This is a multi-part plastic assault squad coming hopefully before the end of this year. It will have loads of options. Absolutely, if you want to use this in your Warhammer 40,000 armies as well as an assault squad, they are beaky Space Marines you can use them for 40k as well if you'd like to. But they absolutely fill a very important niche in your Horus Heresy army. So there you go, guys. Yep. Assault squad's on the way. We do have one more video to show you, which is a little bit of a tease. There's not a huge amount of information, but there's a few hints if you want to try and pick it apart at your own leisure after this preview. So I'm going to show you the last video.
Uh-oh. Command legions. Okay, is it going to be a new game? I really hope it's not a mobile game. That is it.
Okay, guys. So